Welcome to the Wrap-Up Show. I'm John Hine, joined by my new co-host, Andy Dick.
Welcome. Can you turn my mic up, bitch? Turn my mic up, bitch.
Lots to wrap up today. We're going to try and get Stamos in here.
Wrap it up.
Don Rickles coming in.
Wrap it up and don't open it till Christmas.
But, of course, we have the roastee, Mr. Dick. And Andy.
I was roasted tonight.
Now, do you feel like you were roasted?
Today.
A lot of people said they thought you... I'll wait for you to get that.
Hang on. Tim, I'm doing a wrap-up show. Can you get Tim, my guitar player, and tell him to bring his guitar? We'll do a song for you.
Cool.
Tell him to bring... Tim, you know, the Irish fucking drunken bitch. Okay. Dumbass. Now, there's Artie. Get him in here.
He's coming.
Artie. Is he coming in for the show? Okay.
So
we're in the fucking wrap-up show. We're on the air live, you fucking dumb, drunken whore. Okay, we're done.
Well, Andy, welcome to the Wrap-Up Show.
Hey, it feels good to be here.
Now, seriously, did you feel like you got roasted today, or do you think you got off a little easy?
Oh, no, I didn't get off easy.
No?
I know everybody says that. What else can you say about me? Bring your guitar. Tell him.
Well, you were saying...
Bring your guitar, dumbass. Oh, there he is.
You were saying how, okay, enough with the gay jokes, enough with the gay jokes. You knew those were coming going in, right?
Coming and going? What the fuck? Oh. Yeah, of course.
I got to say, the first time I ever met Andy, he's not going to remember this.
Oh, great.
It was the spring of 1996 at the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset Boulevard. Oh. And he had a couple, and I had a couple, and he was with some guy handling him, I guess, for whatever you were doing back then, news radio. And his handler said, "Can you help me get Andy in the car?" And I said, "Fuck him and you. I'm drinking." And I've been a fan of Andy's ever since then.
Oh, by the way, that handler, his name was Chris Farley. You know, honestly,
is it true that you sold Farley the coke and heroin that killed him?
You know what? I blew it up his ass with my lips. No, honestly,
because I'd
for
like
real,
some of that shit so I can end this quickly.
For real, let me tell you something. This is true. I have an AA book signed by, not signed. It was, he was my first sponsor.
You're kidding me.
When Chris Farley is your sponsor, you know you have a problem.
Funny guy, Chris.
No,
Farley.
he was one of my heroes.
One of the funniest motherfuckers ever. And it's a shame.
You wish you were him.
It's a shame. I do, because he's dead.
How old are you?
And he's not on the wrap-up show with you.
How old are you fat fuck?
I'm 39. I got hit.
I got locked out.
I got Farley, Belushi, and Jesus beat by 6 years.
You lucked out. Well, I'm 41. I'm 41, so I got all them plus you.
Which means you're 48, because all actresses take off 7 years.
Actresses. That's why that fat fuck is funny.
Yeah.
No, really, I am 41. No kidding.
No, I know you are. Yeah. I actually think you're very funny. The MTV show is very funny.
I didn't think you were ever funny till tonight. No, I'm not kidding. Tonight I was like, because I don't pay attention to anything. Do
you even remember sitting next to me at the Shatner roast? You were
No,
ossified.
I don't.
Somebody
ossified. Said that you were there, and I'm like, he was?
I had to leave early. I left before your Star Trek.
I left before I got there.
Honestly, we were sitting next to each other, and I had a Jack and Water on the stage, and I'm like, is it possible Andy's drunker than me right now? Ossified before we even started. Terrible.
Now, you guys have done a bunch of roasts. How does this one stack up? Andy, have you ever been roasted before, or have you always been the one doing
my whole
roasting?
life is one big fucking roast. For real, honestly. I was just in the Inquirer last week. I'm in page 6 every other week. I turned page 6 into page 6, 7, and 8. Okay, I really, that's why I wasn't afraid. Everybody was like, "Are you afraid to be roasted by Stern?" No, I'm not afraid. I was actually excited.
You handled yourself with a lot of class today. You did.
I just want to see what you guys are going to bring.
Did anything get to you? What they threw out
Gary,
there?
hang on. Gary just walked in. Gary, is fucking Stamos coming?
I'm not sure.
Well, you tell him I'm here.
But what is it that you want?
I want to say hello and goodbye. I was on ER recently. I did my dramatic 1 hour. I grew a 1 hour drama beard.
What was your disease?
No, my disease was I had this thing where if I didn't get some kind of drug, I could predict the future.
AZT.
Were you on the Twilight Zone or ER?
Exactly.
That's
where they're at. They're at season 11. It's like the Twilight Zone.
Let me go tell Stamos that you're here.
Stamos, get him in here. I was on ER, and he loves me.
Artie said that
he wants to fuck me. What did he say? What did he say? Wait, Artie, what did he say?
He said that you licked his finger at some event, and he wanted to punch you in the face.
Why didn't he? Fucking pussy.
He just said
Maybe that's what I was trying to provoke.
You like it hard.
I like it.
You like it rough. What, John? I'm sorry.
No, Andy just said how he basically gets roasted every day. So does that make this more difficult to do, to prepare for? Because some of the jokes with Andy are obvious, and then some aren't so
exactly.
obvious.
I thought that you guys were probably shitting in your pants roasting me, because I don't give a fucking shit. Say what you want about me.
He does.
Honestly, I was thinking you guys were probably shaking in your... What am I going to say about that fucking little skinny fag?
Right.
Really? Were you like that?
I didn't think about it till this morning. I was shooting a major television show yesterday.
I can tell you, when I heard that we were roasting Andy, a lot of stuff just flowed out immediately. Like, it was really, I'm not lying.
Oh, were you saying you got diarrhea?
Yeah, I had Andy Dick diarrhea of material, basically.
Wait, what is your name again? Are you Shuley?
I am Shuley.
Okay, I got it right?
Yes.
Yeah. You were nice.
Thank you.
Nice. That other guy, that fucking stockbroker guy,
He's
a real prick. He really just, you know,
he doesn't
why?
like people.
Homophobic.
Well, it's because he is a homophobe.
He's part of your team.
He got his balls licked.
He did.
Who's the fucking gay fag?
Now, Richard and Sal will say...
He got his balls licked.
Andy,
He's worse than that. He's worse than gay. He's a whore. Because he got paid to have his balls.
Right.
He's a male whore.
Richard and Sal have both said that is not a gay act. Do you think there's any way, Andy, that's not a gay act, getting your balls licked or licking someone's balls?
No, Liza Minnelli has a gay
It's
act.
gay and it's a whore.
That's good.
Gary's on fire.
Andy, which comedian do you think did the best today?
Honestly, and I don't know how this happened, but because I expected Lisa Lampanelli to fucking just bring it on. That's why she's last.
Can I ask you a question?
But I expected her to bring it on home.
She did
and
great.
she was great. But for some reason, I found myself laughing the hardest at Dave Attell. If you could rewind the tape right now and listen to it, Dave Attell just brought it. And we got Greg Fitzsimmons, my favorite comic ever. Give him some headphones and a mic.
While Andy and
Share
Greg
'em here.
hug, here's a clip of Attell at today's roast.
Do it.
Robin! Robin.
Dave?
Yes, I heard a little rumor that you like vegetables so much, Terry Schiavo is buried in your pussy. Artie, my old friend Artie. Now, Artie, I know you've been doing some acting lately, and I hear you're up for a big part in the Anna Nicole Smith movie. You will be playing the island she died on.
That was good.
Yeah, Attell did really well, and he writes such good jokes in his delivery.
I called that after the roast. I said, that's going to be the joke that gets played, the island.
Hey, I got to ask Andy a quick question.
Tell him to come in.
Yeah, come in.
Go ahead. My friend.
He can come in. Anybody can come in.
My friend's coming. Come in. Just come in.
He's my neighbor, you know.
Yeah. He is?
He does. He lives a couple blocks away from me.
Well, that's my friend Lee. He's very good friends with Moby, who would have been here, but he's in Europe doing his fucking rave bullshit. Cock sucking. We had an orgy once. Go ahead.
I don't even know. Now I want to shut up.
Go ahead.
How did that go, the orgy?
I got limp. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can anybody identify with any of this?
What do you want to ask him, guy?
I wanted to ask you, it's really weird because, I spoke to you a bunch of times before we did this, and I spoke to all the comedians, and you seemed to be really freaked out by the fact that Lampanelli was going to be there. And you were saying to me, I think in sort of a goofy way, but not so goofy. You're like, oh, my God, I fucking hate her. She's going to kill me. Why does she have to be there? And then I talked to Lisa, and I said, Andy's a little afraid that you're going to be there. And she's like, I don't understand. Andy and I are good friends. He wanted me to write some jokes with him. So what's the story with you and Lisa?
She is today one of the masters of roasting. She really is.
Absolutely.
Her and you know who else? Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross.
Why can't you get him on this?
I'll tell you why I can't get him on. Because I hope Jeff Ross...
Money.
No, exactly.
Money. He wants to take this to another level.
No, here's what Jeff Ross told me.
I know it's up.
He said to me...
I know
it wasn't even about me paying him.
Yeah.
He thinks that I should be giving a lot of money to the person getting roasted, because once we give money to their charity, then it's a kinder roast. Otherwise, right now it's cruel. If I gave Andy Dick $25,000 to give to his favorite charity,
and you know what that
then
charity?
Then it's
you know what
gone
that
out of
charity
law.
is?
The
Andy Dick.
And I was just like, you know what?
In my stomach.
I don't tell you how to. I don't tell you how to write the jokes. You don't tell me how to run a roast.
Yeah.
So that was like it was a deal killer for him.
You know, I
It was
invited
not
him.
going-
I invited him from the beginning.
He wants money,
That's
and he
weird.
wants it in his pocket. Because as soon as you give it to the guy that's getting roasted, then he wants a little.
Right.
And, honestly, we're just having fun. The only reason I even did this is because I have an album out. I have something to promote. Right. Otherwise, fuck all of you.
Right, but there's you got something out of it. We made sure to promote the whole day long.
We'll see.
But Andy, you were talking about Lisa and how good she is, and Gary.
And then she said to me tonight, because surprisingly and sadly, I did not get to meet Don Rickles because he's probably going to die walking to his car tonight. He's 81 years old.
I know.
What the fuck, dude? And he is one of my idols. That guy can take you out at the knees in one sentence. Right. I don't care who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
He will just go, boom, Artie, boom, you're done.
And he's agreed to speak at your funeral, which I thought was nice.
But Andy, you're absolutely right, but I still don't know why.
Don Rickles is going to outlast me. I love him.
I still don't know why
Artie the fat fuck lang.
Andy, I'm still not sure why you were upset or weirded out by Lisa. I still can't get to that place.
Because she's the best at what she does, up there with Jeff Ross and Don Rickles.
It seemed like there was more than that. It seemed like there was. It seemed more than that.
Like I fucked her?
No.
Well, what are you talking about?
No, nothing that crazy.
Now, I'll tell you what it is.
Mad?
I'll tell you what it is.
No,
Andy understands drama, and he understands that you have to have a nemesis. And so it's like you go into prison, which you've probably done, and you blow the biggest guy. That's what you do. A lot of guys will fight the biggest guy. And so what he did with Lisa is he's created this arch enemy so that it can be a big story. But the truth is, Andy doesn't really have an identity. He morphs into whatever will be entertaining at that moment.
Well, it hasn't caught on like the Ollie Frazier thing caught on. It doesn't seem like anybody cares about the rivalry.
And she fucked both those guys.
I love the way we talk about Andy like our senile uncle, like he's in the room, but we talk around him.
Yeah.
I know. I'm right here, boys.
Let's get a call for Andy.
Nick and I get Stamos in here?
Stamos is coming. Nick and Lake
We'll get the good-looking guy in here.
Stamos in here.
Nick.
There he is.
Nick,
bring him in.
You're on the wrap-up show.
Give him some headphones and give him a mic.
Good show. Andy, what was the joke that hurt the most today? That really.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. No, I have alligator skin. You can't hurt me. He needs headphones so he can hear the guy calling in. John Stamos just walked in the studio.
Can't I sit down?
You got to stand. You got those nice calves, buddy. You can stand.
Can we get a chair for Mr. Stamos?
I'm too old for you.
Nothing hurts me or hurts my feelings. I do not like I don't care who they're making fun of. I don't like pedophilia jokes. I don't like that. Those are just
You should
creepy.
stay away with young boys then.
Shut the no. I can have young boys as long as they're over 18.
He's always going to underage. Like what are those places where they can't? It's like I'm going to Costa Mesa.
Thailand.
No, it's like I'm going to Costa Mesa tonight.
Don't. See, I don't like when people lie. That's what.
Where were you going?
The reason I didn't like Lisa Lampanelli said one lie about me. She said I had anal warts. No, I don't. When you start,
you said all the other lines were true.
The roast is supposed to be based in truth, and then you expand on that.
But wait a second.
Where does anal warts come into play?
But hence the gay junkie material.
Going down that road, you said afterwards that you've never actually given a guy anal sex. So
No, I didn't.
You said you never got it.
Never got it.
Never got
That's
it.
the truth.
But people did those jokes too, and that's
all.
And those didn't bother you. And that's not based on any truth.
But they do a little bit, as long as I can get my piece in, and say that and who did that? Howard. And that's why he's truly the roast master. He pointed that out. And I was like, what the fuck? We got a fucking audience.
You know what I love about here?
Peanut gallery.
People come on tour here, and they walk by, and they go, holy shit,
it.
could that possibly be John Stamos and Andy Dick in the same room?
Now, John, Andy was mentioning your history on ER. You guys...
Who's talking?
I have a reoccurring...
John Hine.
Oh,
he's the host of the show.
Right, yeah.
I have a reoccurring character.
You were really good on ER. Did you see it?
I saw it.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I was telling them I grew the 1 hour drama beard.
Yeah. And he's doing like these long-ass takes and ad-libbing. I said, come on, it's an hour show. Tighten it up.
Lisa Lampanelli is my beard, by the way. She's my beard. Okay.
He was over at my house a few weeks ago.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So how did that go? How did that come about?
He's good buddies with Maura Tierney.
Oh, okay,
Who
right.
Loves the show.
From News Radio.
Yeah,
I love her.
She's
love
the
her.
greatest. She's hot. She's so cool. She's so hot.
So hot. And she just recently got a divorce.
So she's single.
So, Andy,
you know why she got a divorce?
No, don't say it, Andy. Don't. What the fuck's the matter with you? God damn it. He's worse than me.
Oh, no. Andy's... We got a dump button, right, guys?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, I would take
what
that.
happened?
No, we didn't say anything. He didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Maura Tierney wrap-up hour.
She's so hot, and she loves the show. She just texted me a few minutes ago. She said, don't show Sal your balls.
Oh, I was going to say, speaking
Did she text you?
Yeah.
She really did?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, John, speaking of gay acts on the show, the end there, what happened with Sal and Richard? They had you in a corner almost.
It was terrible. I should have left with Rickles. Seriously, like you guys are, it's too much.
We forget.
I honestly went through my mind, like, should I hit? It'll be good TV. Like, should I punch one of these guys?
Because you felt that you wanted to.
Yeah, but they're nice guys. Don't touch me, Sal.
That guy.
That guy. And they're great for the show. It's a good, it's good. I'm
it's not great for the show. This show is getting so gay.
Yeah.
It's.
I have nothing against homosexuality.
Quiet down, Mr. Pencil in your ass, man.
I was a pencil.
Yeah, Greg, there was a little...
You had a pencil? Wait, Greg Fitzsimmons had a pencil in his ass?
He was in all fairness, he was in his teens.
I was a teenager.
Pencil is called...
And I would...
Who did it?
I masturbate and I put a pencil in my ass.
No, you didn't.
Now it's a
pencil.
No, you didn't. Did you erase anything?
I wish I could erase the memory of it.
Now, Greg,
did you really do that?
Yeah.
Greg, and you admitted it?
Well, is that so weird?
Yeah.
You never
I have a story. No, I did. I put a finger in.
Yeah, the same thing.
I have a story. I have a story. I had a friend.
You took it right down the gay road. You brought it back to gay.
No,
I was talking about,
They brought it up.
Actually, I deflected it to gay over to Greg.
Yeah.
Greg, get off the gay.
All right,
getting off the gay. When you went on a little bit of a rant to Howard about how he's changed and the show isn't what it was. Did you think twice about that, or were you just going to go for the jugular there? Because it sounded like you basically were speaking your mind.
Well, I felt like halfway through the roast, I started to feel like it was losing steam. And I got frustrated a little bit, and I wanted to yell. And I didn't really know what to yell about, so I figured I would just yell about the fact that I really am bothered by all the gay stuff. It's just too much. A little bit goes a long way. And that thing about, like, just fuck each other, Sal. Like, just do it. The build-up is not worth it.
John, do you think there's too much gay stuff on the show these days?
I have nothing against homosexuality, but these guys are, they're pretend, it's getting offensive to people,
That you think the gays should be offended by the way they pretend?
Yeah. I mean,
I had a joke that didn't make.
Andy, are you offended?
Oh, come on.
Now, last time
I had a joke that didn't make it on the roast. I had a joke about Howard that I wrote.
What was it?
The whole thing about somebody licking somebody's balls. Sal got his balls licked. I'm like, I don't know what's gay or this and that. It's like, Howard, we know you're gay. I mean, we know you're in the closet, but I know you're gay because I can see your nose sticking out.
Crickets.
I think that joke's got a legitimate beef that it didn't make it over the other.
I think what happened was he wrote that joke for Benji's act and it didn't make it in.
Shut the F up. You don't have to say F, do you?
So I got a question for you, Andy. We'll go back to the roast. But it's really weird. Like, how do you feel? I was watching Entourage. Did you hear about Entourage on Sunday night?
I got a million texts.
Andy was the butt of a joke on Entourage. It was one of those weird things, and I wonder how you feel to be like the butt of the joke.
I'm always the butt of a joke.
Ari says something like, "Don't go with him. He's changed managers more than Andy Dick has changed his pink vibrator."
No, you really elaborate. You rewrote it better. You did it better. The thing is that the script, they said the script changes more than Andy Dick's vibrator. The pink part's not in there, and it's talking. No, the script.
Okay.
No, yeah,
but how do you feel being the butt?
I don't give a fuck.
You're the go-to sort of gay guy joke.
Whatever.
No, I'm just asking how you feel about it.
I don't care. I don't care.
All right, you like girls, too. I've seen you with girls.
I know. I have my son right there in the corner. Give him a mic.
Lucas is a good dude.
Just lean into the mic, buddy. Lean into the mic.
And
talk.
Hey, Lucas, weren't you? I heard a story. Weren't you like somewhere either on our set or at a party or something, and some guy kind of came up and hit on you and said, "Hey, I'm not like my dad."
Maybe. I don't know.
Did that happen?
Tell that story. What happened? I heard someone told me about that, and you said, "Hey, I'm not like my dad, man."
Well, I'm not gay. I like girls.
What's wrong with you?
Lucas, was it tough being on the couch during the whole roast there? Was there any cringe moments for you?
A little.
I felt for you for a minute. There was one time, I can't remember what the joke was, but I saw you sort of put your hands over your face like it seemed to bother you. I was a little bummed out.
Yeah, it was something about my asshole and changing the diapers.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Is Sal still here?
That was Sal's joke.
That was Sal. What was that line?
Sal is...
Andy had a son so he can finger his asshole while changing his diaper.
Ooh. Horrible. Now, I think that's crossing the line.
But wait, I mean, speaking of crossing the line, is it true? I think you brought up on the Howard Stern show once that you and he both slept with the same woman?
Yeah, that is true.
Is that true?
That is true. That's not crossing the line.
I bet she's hot.
Not for him.
She was my girlfriend. She was 19. She was 18 at the time, and he was 18. I was fucking her for a while, and then one night he just swooped in there and fucked her.
Wow!
And the only thing I could do was give him a high five. Right?
Were you weren't
more appropriate that they're going out than me.
Did you set it up,
her.
or he did this behind your back?
Did it behind my back.
Is this true?
It's been great seeing you guys. Good luck. God bless you all.
John, real quick before
Andy,
you
don't
go.
call me.
John's one conversation away from losing his NBC deal.
You better invite me to one of those gay karaoke nights.
Could you real quick talk about what it took to get Rickles up here and how today sort of came together?
I've been trying for years. He's very aware of the show. He's very aware of Howard and Artie, and I just been first of all, I was trying to get him to call Artie for the longest time. Remember, I called you trying to get
which he did call Artie once, and then he was going to call Artie that time he was down in Miami, but Artie had a Friday night he wasn't going to be there.
Yeah, we were on the Tonight Show, and I was trying to get him to call, and then he was just afraid to come in because his perception. He doesn't listen to the show, so his perception is it's boobs.
I was saying before, I think we suffered from getting him on from like an interview we did with him in 1987. We were out at the Grammys. People come and sit down, and I don't remember much about it, but Don probably sat down. Howard probably asked him, "Did you get a lot of pussy in your day, and how much do you make?" Which are two things that guys of that era just don't like discussing.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I think, and he remembers everything. He remembers that conversation. He remembers the deal.
Like, I don't remember it. I remember a lot
of
stuff.
But he's a fan, and he wanted to come in. I was trying to get the guys to go to dinner, but so this worked out, perfect. And maybe we'll go down and see him.
So what happened was John, they're both going to be in town at the same time. John spoke to his publicist. John's publicist spoke to Don's publicist, and everybody sort of called everybody, put it together, and what I wanted to do, or what John wanted to do, was surprise everybody. But Howard just doesn't do well with surprises.
Yeah, it's better that he was researched and read the book.
So Howard knew everything, but nobody else knew that Don was coming in, with the exception of Howard.
Artie, that must have been a surprise for you.
Yeah, it was great. Coincidentally enough, we haven't seen each other since the movie we did.
Oh, really? But he asks about you. He talks about you guys all the time. He talks about Howard a lot.
Well, I guess, what
he wants to know what Howard thinks of him, and Howard had told me before he's the reason why Howard got into comedy. That it was inspiration.
He said something telling in the interview, because I see this a lot. It's sometimes getting a guest on that's hard to get. His son is a big fan of the show.
Right,
that just goes a long way, because someone say, "Dad, you should hear this, you should hear that."
But I thought Howard handled him so delicately and was so respectful and so loving towards him. I know. Don was elated. He was so happy.
I've never seen Howard stand up for an entire interview before, and Artie made it for most of it.
I had to stand up, but I was eating a cupcake.
As soon as I brought him in, he was like so excited, Artie, and then all of a sudden he went down to eat. Is that a nervous thing, do you think?
Yes. Well, you know what? Two people have called me for yelling at them from nervousness, and it's Don Rickles and Joe Walsh.
Oh, really?
Joe's like, "Hey, man,
my Maserati does a 185.
Yeah, those are two of my heroes.
The only line that was weird with Howard to Don Rickles was, "Well, how do you feel about Frank Sinatra and Johnny Carson? All your friends are dropping like flies."
Yeah, and he's still around.
He's doing well.
He's 81 years old, folks.
Jack in Chicago is a good question. Jack, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey, I wanted to ask Gary, in light of Rickles being on the show today, where does he consider him as the greatest comedians of all time ever on the Stern Show?
Probably.
He's got.
My book,
I'd have to think about who's been on, but he's got to be in the top three.
Yeah.
Rodney,
especially
Rodney.
You have to dissect it and categorize it in there's different kinds of comedians.
And
he's an insult comic, and he is the #1 insult comic in the world right now, alive. Right. He is.
You got to do eras too.
So who would the top three be? I mean, Rodney, Dangerfield.
He's
I
dead.
thought you meant Rodney, the guy
in
that
the world
sat in
right
a couple
now.
of times with the Jackie chair.
Rodney Lee Conover? No, not that one. Rodney Dangerfield, definitely Don Rickles.
No,
if we looked at this show in 40 years, you'd say Chris Rock. I would put in that category, but Rickles has done a much longer career, much more. Kinnison was great.
Kinnison.
But that was a whole other, Kinnison could be funny just by being high. Rickles is just inherently funny.
Artie, is Rickles number one on your list, or certainly top 5, I would think?
I'm sleeping, John.
Okay. John.
I guess Kinnison would be my number. Rickles and Kinnison tied for number 1, I'd say.
And John, how about you?
Rickles.
Heads above?
I loved Kinnison on the show. I used to love when he was on.
It's so funny. We just reran a show of his last week, and I just forgot how he just put everything on the table, the shit that he would talk about on his show, and he'd get hammered and just tell us everything.
Who
he was a trainer.
Kinnison, Sam Kinnison.
Oh, is this a true story? Somebody just told me this, that Kinnison had 5 years sobriety and then went on Stern.
No, it wasn't 5 years. It might have been 5 months.
And then popped a cork on a champagne and guzzled the whole thing.
Howard would joke around.
I heard that like 2 days ago.
Howard would joke around, and it was true because I saw it. Sam would come in, and he would go, Howard, look, I got my 30-day chip. And then he'd come back like 3 months later, and he'd go, Howard, look, I got my 30-day chip. And we go, but it's been 90 days. Yeah, well, I started drinking again. I started over. Then he'd come back, and he'd have a 60-day chip, but then next time he'd have his 30-day chip. So he was always falling off the wagon every couple of months. But there was...
You know how that goes,
But there was one time...
Sounds familiar.
There was one time where Howard gave Sam... I think we may not have known that Sam was trying to get sober again, and Sam loved champagne. And Sam had done a huge favor for Howard, huge favor. So I think we bought him a case of champagne, and Sam's like, you know what, I'm going to give this to the boys. I'm not going to deal with it. We gave it to him at like 6 in the morning, and then at 6:45 he's like, fuck that, and he popped it open.
You guys are leaving out, by the way, in the top comedians ever on the show, is Dave Attell. I would honestly put him in my top 5 anyway.
He really is funny.
He's phenomenal, and he's sort of like, if you talk about people that have taken comedy to another place, like as a club comic, he sort of created a new voice in clubs when he
Gilbert's
came
funny on here.
I'm going to throw one more out because we never had him in live.
I agree with what Greg just said, by the way.
We had him on. We had him on as a phoner, but it was still, even with his MS and everything, it was brilliant. With Richard Pryor.
Oh, was he on the show? I was going to ask that.
Richard Pryor did a phoner with us.
Even with his blackness.
I said his MS.
I'm just kidding.
What about Chappelle?
Didn't go.
Oh, Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle, like I love Chappelle, and I think he's really funny. So it remains to be seen what his legacy is. Do you know what I mean? Like Rodney and Don Rickles, their legacy is already intact.
I think like Rodney and Rickles are much more classic, and there's something classy and legendary about it. But have they ever made you laugh and think like Chappelle has?
They've made me laugh my ass off, sure. But it's different eras. That's what Andy was sort of saying. The different classification and different eras.
What about Chappelle's act makes you think? Particular.
Like, I know his routine about like the black people protesting because they can't be hung on the white tree.
No, I think the one that makes me think, Artie, is the one where the white family's last name is Niggers.
Oh,
remember that one?
Goodbye, everybody.
We gotta go.
Guys.
Have you ever seen that bit?
He just got fired.
No, and Dave's the milkman.
You're
and he's like,
fired.
boy, you niggers sure drink a lot of milk.
You're double fired.
No, I'm saying this is a bit.
Don't say niggers.
It's an Andy Dick bit.
You're not allowed to say niggers on the air or you'll be fired.
No, I think
whatever, Gar.
I think
good excuse. Get human resources on the phone.
The thing with Rickles coming in is that there is some, and I was talking to somebody about this before. Is like, as a comedian, I've been doing it 18 years, and you always feel like, all right, it's going to be over soon, and I can't do this forever. And then you see a guy who has done it forever, him or Bob Newhart, and they're still brilliant, and they're still enjoying it. And it's kind of inspirational. So not only did they make their mark, but they did it for a long time. And I think your point, Gary, is you got to do it for 40 or 50 years before you
tell you something. Chappelle's legacy is not there yet.
Yeah. When I see Don Rickles, I feel sorry he's not as rich as Tim Allen, and he's got to do the golden nugget.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing that I look at. I look at things in a whole. I got the beer colored glasses. He's never had a. He doesn't drink. That's the thing that I see. I'm all Rickles.
So does it make
he doesn't drink?
So does it make
yes, he does. He does? Yes.
Fuck you!
I gotta take a pee.
Yeah.
I would leave now, but I don't want to.
Andy, you're coming back?
Of course.
I have to pee.
But you come back because I got more questions for you.
Ken in Tampa, you're.
Yes.
Lock him in the bathroom so I can leave.
Do it in the bathroom.
I want myself in the bathroom.
Bye, Andy.
All right, Andy's gonna go take a piss. Ken, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, John. You guys haven't talked about Milton Berle.
Oh yeah, Milton.
I got to tell you something. Milton Berle. I was telling somebody this morning. Milton Berle, I'm assuming, was very funny in the 50s, before my time. and I found him to be probably one of the all-time biggest fucking pains in the asses that ever came on the show. He was so difficult to deal with that I couldn't even see humor.
No one wore a dress like Milton Berle, my friend. No
Gary, can I ask you a question? Did you ever try to get Jackie Gleason on back in the early days?
I don't think so. I think
he died in '87.
He died in '87, so I was only on the show a couple years, and he was probably wasn't out doing stuff.
Right.
What about Bill Hicks? Did he ever do the show?
Yeah. Bill did the show a couple of times. He did a phoner on the show once. It was great. It was right after his whole Letterman set got cut. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he called up railing on Letterman. And, we've had him on a couple
He's
times.
my top.
John, I know you got to get out of here.
Thanks for having me on. I listen to this wrap-up show all the time.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for coming on
here. Thank you.
First of all, ER, is a Thursday night wrap yet? Is it done?
This Thursday's the last.
This Thursday's the last show. And tell Maura Tierney I'm meddling with her.
I'm sure she's listening. She loves it.
Cool. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, John. We're going to let everybody get situated here. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about how Greg thinks John's so good-looking. Andy will come back and give us a song, plus how everybody did on the roast. You're listening to the Wrap-Up Show on Howard 100 and Howard 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Wrap-Up Show. Everybody from the roast is here. 888-STERN-100. That's the number to call to reach us.
See how good I am? Right on time.
Let's hear a bit of...
Professional.
Andy Dick coming back. Let's hear a little bit of Artie Lang. Clip number 5.
Lisa Lampanelli's here, and Lisa, don't mock her looks, man. She slept with a lot of very successful comedians. Matter of fact, people don't realize this. Lisa had sex with Richard Jeni yesterday. I've done heroin, cocaine, weed, acid, ecstasy, angel dust, and a bunch of other shit, and I've yet to find the drug that makes Lisa Lampanelli fuckable. And then the other day, I met Lisa's boyfriend, and I found that drug. It's called poverty.
A brilliantly crafted joke, Artie.
Now, Artie, I was going to pull the Sid Fernandez one, but you talked about it on air.
Yeah. I was proud of Sid Fernandez in that reference.
Artie wrote that joke specifically for me and me alone.
No, well, Greg made a good point. I brought it up to him. I couldn't believe as many people got the reference, but I think it was more of like a flow thing. But
I did the Derek Jeter joke for you, Artie.
Well, that Jeter's, that's always good. Number 2 hole, I like that.
Was a good one. That was a good one.
He did spend a lot of time in the 2 hole.
Yeah.
But that's why Lisa's the best person for a roast. She kills, and you can kill her, and she laughs it off. She's the best,
Now, the most controversial performance on the roast, I think, was one Benji Bronk. We have a little bit of that for you. Hit the clip number 1, God. Teddy. Here's Benji.
Oh, there he is.
Artie Lang. Artie, you've gotten so fat and ugly. In Artie's upcoming sitcom, they're casting Lisa Lampanelli as the unbelievably hot chick he somehow got.
Thanks, Artie.
But Lisa, look at her. Look at her. She has transformed herself. Lisa has gone from really fat and ugly to just sort of fat and ugly.
The best analogy I can give for Benji's act is if you're a big record fan, rock and roll fan, remember The Clash had a record called Sandinista?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a triple record, and everyone said if it was a single record, it would have been one of the greatest records of all time. I thought that you had brilliant jokes in there, a lot of brilliant jokes, but you went on too long. And the other thing, Benji, is you've been working on the show for so long, and you still seem to have no ability to know where the microphone is. You're like off mic. You're over here. You're over there. You don't know where you are. And I'm like, I was pushing the microphone up for Benji. He gets so excited. But at the end of the day, you got to be on the mic.
Right, I understand what you're saying. But,
yeah, Benji, even your set was overweight.
No, I listen. I'm sure my reading of it wasn't that well. The delivery wasn't that great, but I think the jokes were pretty good, and I think I could learn to deliver better.
Benji's hand gestures, even when he's pitching anything, even in a meeting on Thursdays and stuff. And the way he sort of mispronounces stuff a little bit, like instead of Artie Lang, like Artie Lang, And he does that hand thing where he's like, he just fucking almost punches you in the face if he's in front of you. And the nerves hit you a little bit. I think the drive.
Yeah, no,
out,
definitely.
That hits all of us.
Definitely. And I told Gary this afterwards. He disagreed, but maybe Greg it's weird the way the amplification is to the crowd.
Yes.
Like it's not.
But you guys don't realize that the crowd, like when you go to Letterman, there are speakers around the room that are low enough that they're not blaring out. Everyone can hear the jokes.
Don't need to yell. And the other thing is,
but that's what made Sal's work. That's what made Sal's work is that he did yell it.
Benji, you could totally be heard.
Back me up on this. buddy, please.
Get in.
Back me up.
I'll back
And
you
actually,
up.
Andy, I thought you got shut off, but your conceptual thing about the
I'm
ass
getting shut off
the
by you.
penis
I know.
was incredible.
It was fucking funny.
And it got shut off.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
But let me give you one piece. Artie and I can give you one piece of advice to calm those shaky hands.
No, I agree.
Have a little. Or drink a little. Have one fucking
You know what?
shot.
You know what?
That's
Really,
what I did.
You know what really helps me, and I honestly think this is the secret to Howard's show. You know what calms me down? I fucking look at Howard. I swear to God, he's such an open book. Like when you're talking to him, he's just like receiving, and it just calms me down. I feel like I'm just talking to him.
This would have been much easier for me in front of an audience of strangers.
But it was an audience. Well, it was and it wasn't.
It's a different kind of expectation.
You know what else helps you? You know what else helps your delivery too is being talented as a comedian.
That would help. Probably.
Let's talk about.
No, but I think Benji took a lot of hits. But you know what? His set, if you played any of our sets all the way through, there'd be lulls in everybody's set. Everybody's set today.
Especially
and
mine.
Benji had lulls and hits like everybody else, and the hits were great.
You had some good jokes.
Thinking of not letting him do the next roast is ridiculous.
Nobody's thinking of that, Artie.
Howard was.
Howard was the only one who was thinking about it.
Just keep it quick.
Look, I named Howard.
Run it by your friends.
No, honestly, I think if you listen to most of the roast jokes, I don't think they're that great of jokes. You can't argue when a crowd laughs. A crowd laughs. But most jokes that work at a roast are not that great of jokes.
Well, let's talk about the crowd, because a couple people said they thought it was a pretty quiet crowd for a Stern roast.
So here's the Bob Levy, step up to the microphone. Here's the crazy shit that Bob and Sal are floating, because immediately...
What are you lumping me in?
Because Bob said that you guys talked about it.
Is there some great conspiracy?
Yes, let me get my theory. Let me tell you.
Wait for this.
Here's the theory. Bob comes to me after the show and he says, listen, next time the audience has to be fans. And I go, hold on, let me finish. Okay. And then I'm going to get to and I said, they were fans. I go, the only people in the crowd that weren't fans of the show was Andy had, his son. And I'm not saying that they're not fans, but Andy's had a couple people sitting on the couch, way to the right of your sort of line of view, and the two clients were sitting in the back of the room. Everyone else there was fans, but they were convinced, or Bob seems to be convinced, that there were a lot of agents and stuff in the audience, and that they didn't laugh at Artie jokes.
No, I didn't. They didn't laugh. They were big fans of Artie. That's why they didn't laugh. They have respect for him. So when we went into the Artie stuff, they just stared at us.
But who do you think they were? They were fans.
No, but
a lot of the jokes cutting on me got laughed.
No, I know, but it was like I'm saying they had respect for you. They love you so much that they're not going to laugh at some of the creepy shit.
Who are these people that aren't regular fans?
None of my agents were.
No, I'm not saying. That's not exactly what I said. I said we need real fans in there.
Like me?
We need a real fan.
I said they like you.
As opposed to what?
It had nothing to do with that. That's two different angles that you're bringing in.
But you brought both of them up to me.
Yes, exactly. And I said the fans, these people that were in there were friends of Sal, they're friends of mine, they're friends of yours. They're not the regular fans. They've already seen the people.
There were agents there.
No, there were no agents.
There were no agents.
There were nobody in there that had seen it before. That's another. Levy's convinced that the guy in the front row to the left, he'd seen him before. He'd been here, and that guy wasn't laughing because he'd already been here.
No, I never said he wasn't laughing. I said they've been here. They're I've seen them hanging out with people. Let the fans that listen to the show come in that don't hang out with us. And that's what I think.
I didn't know there were fans out there that hang out with us. Sal, come on, tell me what you think.
I think that Bob has a good point, but the point Bob's trying to make is that if we have real hardcore fans in the audience, I think overall would have made for a better environment. Like real hardcore psycho fans. If you had a room of
Bobo's not
50
a
Bobo's
not a hardcore fan.
They're already
yes, he is.
Bobo, Wheels.
Right. I think if we would have had a contest for what would you do to get a roast ticket, that's going to isolate the most
or just a line
fan.
where people are going to sleep out the night before or whatever.
Right. And you're going to get the most gung-ho, craziest people who get the show the most.
I see where you guys are going, but like I had the list. More than half of the people on the list for the crowd today were what you just said. Listeners wanting to give away, like hardcore guys.
Artie Lang.
More than half.
Did you see any issues with the crowd?
I understand. Listen. I'm the first one to be judgmental of a crowd. If the wrong people are in a crowd, it definitely can affect the way it goes. But how do you explain how do you explain when jokes that were show references got really hard laughs?
People laughed. Hold on a second. People laughed. If you told me, if you said this audience wasn't laughing at anything, but when jokes were funny, people laughed, and when people didn't think they were funny, they didn't laugh. I didn't see any weirdness going on.
You have to fully explain the me situation. I don't understand what you're talking about.
No, I said to him that they love you so much that they have so much respect for you that when we do pop at you, they won't laugh because they love you. That's what I'm saying.
Why would the people that were there today be any different than a super fan?
Because,
you think superfans love Artie less?
No, because what Bob's saying is some of the superfans, I think, opinions or theories about the show are the type of jokes that we wrote about people on the show, and if they were there to listen to it, they would have appreciated. Like, there was a lot of groaning. There was a lot of groaning and moaning in there today. And go back to the Ralph roast, go back to the Ronnie roast, and watch them.
Same
and
type of crowds.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. This crowd was
those
flat.
were just people that were thrilled to be here.
There's also there's a chaos theory. You know, I mean, you get good crowds and bad crowds. It's not necessarily the process of getting them.
Even
Sometimes
Greg
they're moany. They were fucking definitely moany. You know, I thought a couple jokes that I didn't think were that bad. That's why I always like to see Sal go up early, because he can kind of break down some barriers and because you can either respect what the crowd's telling you the show should be, or you fucking steamroll them. And in
Guys,
the roast, you obviously steamroll.
You sound like comics bitching that you didn't have as good a set as you had in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
gives a fucking shit about the crowd? Who gives a shit about them? Let's talk about us.
You should have fans in there.
We rock. You rocked.
Who wasn't a good fan of the show in there? Who wasn't?
I don't know. They were fans because they were laughing at things that I didn't know.
We should let it more to the outside crowd. You know what I mean?
But it was saying it was.
Okay, I invited 2 people. Sal invited 2 people.
So now it's my fault that you invited people?
No, I'm just saying that we should take it back to where it was just people that.
But you invited people to every roast we've had.
I did the first two with just the fans, but then it just gets too crazy.
Well, you know, Letterman, it's impossible. Letterman will not let a single friend of an employee in the crowd. It's all fans.
And they will, if it's a big guy like Howard, they will canvass the audience and say, are you a big fan of Howard?
No,
and if you are, you get thrown off.
I can tell you that.
You can't come in the fucking show.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to go to a Letterman show once. I can't remember what it was, to see somebody that I wanted to see, and they said no. They said you can hang in the control room, but you can't sit in the audience.
It's
because
like impossible.
You're recognizable, and, you know, I'm in the industry, so apparently that means I have no
The
sense
only
of
big
humor.
difference, we didn't give away as many tickets on the air as we did in the past. Not even close.
You know what? There's another side of the story. If it's truly funny, you shouldn't have to be a fan of the fucking show.
I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree
so
completely.
Get off this topic.
Well,
but how do you explain the jokes that cut on me that got laughs?
Right.
No, but I just thought that they have so much respect for you that all of a sudden the crowd, the people love him. I'm saying.
Okay,
that was the reason I said it.
Going with that theory, when you bring in the super fans, they don't have as much respect for Artie.
Yeah,
so
but they understand. Like Shuli said,
I think what he's saying is with the super fans, they don't draw lines throughout the road. Like they won't sit there and go, well, I'm not going to laugh at. Like there's super fans of the show, they laugh at everything. From
so you really think there's people in this crowd, a substantial amount, that could affect the full laugh? There was enough people who said, I'm not going to laugh at anything cutting on Artie.
I didn't say that. I said that they had respect. It wasn't I made a big thing. I mentioned to Gary, it was like, I just felt it when I went into it. I thought they were good lines, and all of a sudden it just stopped. And it was like, because they have so much respect for you, and that's what I said.
Bob, did they have the respect for Robin? She got killed today. Did they have the respect for Howard? He got hit hard, too.
And everybody laughed.
But I was just an opinion, and you guys made it into a show here.
But it's more. Bob, hold on a second. It's more than.
It was the guy in the wheelchair.
It's an opinion.
But everybody else.
Guys, hold on. Stop. Everybody stop for a second. It was an opinion that you brought to me directly after the show that you felt strongly enough about to change the way we do it the next time. So it's more than an opinion.
Yeah, I think that we should have more of the fans that don't know and hang out with us on the fucking.
Can I tell you something? I know that you guys after the show will discount me as not a guy who does stand up, but it sounds like you, Shuli, and Sal got together and formed this opinion that may or may not be true. Again, people laughed at a lot of jokes today.
I'll go beyond that. What you guys are saying is so fucking fascinating. I would love to interview. And I need them for my friends on MySpace, by the way. Those people that said, I'm not going to laugh at a joke that fucks with Artie. I would love to meet those people. Where are they right now? I've never met somebody like that before in my life.
It should be a whole fan thing with the fans, not people that know us. That's what I'm saying.
And how come they didn't laugh at my shitty
Make the studio wheelchair non-accessible.
It already is.
It was supposed to be.
Was it hard to get that fucker
I said that
in?
my father was in a wheelchair.
No.
Please.
You have to walk in.
Wheels, if you're listening,
you got to walk in or you...
Yeah. Wheels, it was all your
So
fault.
is Wheels, would you say Wheels, the guy in the wheelchair who listens to the show every day, good that he was there or bad that he was there? Is he a friend of the show or a super fan?
I think he's a friend of the show.
He's a super fan. I don't hang out with him.
I don't know, but
the problem is when you have that injury, you can't laugh as hard because of the air getting out.
But he is the quintessential super fan. He listens to the only reason we know him is because he calls the wrap-up show every day. Other than that, we have no relationship with him.
All I'm saying is that I think the fans that don't call in, that fucking love the show, that can't get through, and they should have an opportunity for
How are they going to get tickets?
They can fucking email me.
Call?
They can email me, and I'll fucking get them. You know what I mean? I'll go through the work.
If you really want to get into the next show, fake an injury, and show up in a wheelchair. Apparently that gets you in the door.
All right, let's hear how Sal came out. He started with the bang. Hit number 3.
I am really excited today, man. What a fucking day. It's Colin Quinn, Greg Fitzsimmons, Dave Attell. It's like watching Comedy Central 5 years ago. Benji, Brock, holy shit, did you fucking suck today? Out of all days, you couldn't have been late today?
So, Sal, you came out swinging, and as always, this is definitely your forum to shine.
You are a solid kick-ass roaster. Really,
Thank you.
Your money
Thank
in the
you very
bank.
much.
Your money in the bank for a roast. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, even with the Sal sentiment in the crowd, he did well.
Yeah, no. You just
play Sal's jokes about me. I don't think anybody was cutting me a break there.
No, I don't care about the. I think I know what Bob Lee was saying. We like to bring the environment that we have on the road into that audience, just like the blue-collared, hardcore.
So, let me ask you a question.
Ruthless. We want ruthless.
You want to
fans.
make it easier for you to write a joke.
No, listen, I'm fine with the audience, but I understand what Bob's point is, too. He doesn't want...
Well, then if you understand Bob's point, then you're clearly not fine with the audience.
Right.
John, how many people were in the audience? Hold on a second. How many people were in the audience?
36.
Okay, there were 36 people in the audience. More than half of them won tickets to get in?
I would say half of them did.
Okay. And the other...
the Howard TV guys, I don't know how...
Right, Howard TV guys, but one of the guys that was in there was a huge fan of the show. He works on the show Survivor, but an enormous fan of the show. Tell me, when he was in Fiji doing Survivor, they were listening on the Internet. So is that not the right kind of fan because he's got a job
Gary, I'm not saying...
and not a DUI and a suspended license?
Listen, I think the audience was fine, but I'm trying to explain Bob Levy's... Hold on. I'm trying to explain Bob Levy's point. If it's a roast and it's a brutal environment, we would love to bring in nothing but the most hardcore, brutal fans. And I don't know how you isolate that, but that's Bob's point.
But first of all...
He wants guys who laugh when you go, Benji's a fat fuck. That's what he wants.
You contradict
and then he
yourself.
Wants to sell T-shirts.
You're contradicting yourself because... Sal,
Bob.
You're contradicting yourself because you're saying, I thought the audience was fine, but... this audience wasn't right. We should do a different audience.
The biggest mistake was asking me my opinion. What do I know? I don't know.
I gotta say, he understands Bob's point now. This was all our points earlier. Now he's just understanding it on here. But I want to say this. Yeah, you fuck. I want to say this. Bottom line, the crowd was a little flat. I don't care what you say.
But
that's my opinion.
No. But you got to understand something. The crowd was a little flat is okay to say. The reason why the crowd was a little flat is where we're sort of getting weird. There's always flat crowds.
Yeah. Right. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't mean because somehow somebody knew somebody that made him a flat crowd.
The crowd wasn't flat for Greg. Here's a quick line from him.
Transition. Andy Dick.
Oh, God. Back to it.
Look at all the people at this roast. I haven't seen this many guys lined up to take a crack at Andy since, usually you're on all fours. Andy recently visited the doctor. Some bad news. His AIDS has some blood in it.
Andy's shaking his head here.
Andy, the great thing about Andy is that, this is his persona, because that's not the real him. The real him is Kathy Griffin. But you're making fun of this image that he puts out there, so I don't think that stuff really hurts. I mean, you don't have AIDS, obviously, anymore.
Well, I'm HIV neutral.
Andy, can I ask you a serious question for real? I have a serious question. Andy, and Sal right here.
He's HIV
I
serious.
don't want to talk to you. Go ahead. What?
In all seriousness.
Go ahead, caller.
What do you prefer, vagina or penis?
Right now, I like a real hot boy.
Hot boy?
Well, like...
Yeah, that's another thing.
You, Sal.
We got to talk about what's the deal. So you dig Jared, right? Like Jared,
Shut
the guy.
Up.
Because do you know that you hit on Jared like 5-6 years ago when he worked at MTV?
I'm sure I did.
Hey, Gary, you know what it's like? Remember when Ari sent down the Chinese guy to close the deal?
That's right.
Jared's
he
the
could
Chinese
not be
guy.
any hotter.
Andy's looking at him like a lion looking at a wounded antelope.
He really is. Jared's the hot dog in the cartoons for the hungry guy.
He could not be any hotter. That guy's hot. He's hot.
Jared, stop blushing.
Jared.
Hey, Andy,
we're going out tonight on a date, taking him out.
Oh man,
taking him out.
No seriousness, Andy. If you had if today you had a choice and one or the other, and you had no other way of doing it,
I would be
vagina or penis. What would you go for?
It would depend on the person.
Right. So the question is not vagina or penis. The question is, say Jared and give me your girl's name real quick.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Jared or Ellen DeGeneres?
Well, those are two men. Hey.
Let's say Jared or Carmen Electra. Jared or...
I would take Jared.
Wow, you're a fag.
Well, so what?
And I got my balls like I'm calling you a fag.
You're so angry about your own homosexuality.
I have no problem with it.
Well, then shut up. You're so angry.
Andy, is there any doubt in your mind that Richard and Sal are not gay?
They are, well, they're bi-curious. Bi-curious. Look at him. He's tonguing me in his mind. He's sticking his tongue out at me.
Tony in New Hampshire, you're on the wrap-up show.
I'm flickering my tongue at Andy.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on? I just wanted to comment. I thought that Howard did a great job interviewing Don Rickles, considering the fact that he didn't know he was going to be on the show. He knew all the right questions to ask.
Don's
very
not
entertaining.
Here.
I understand that, Andy. Thanks for that. I was just making a comment.
Okay.
I have another comment. I thought David Tell killed. I know he's not there, Andy. Sorry.
Well, Dave must have gotten a different audience.
Maybe I can call back and just talk about you next time, Andy.
No, buddy, take it easy.
But I had a comment for Artie Lang. I saw you at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom.
How was he?
He was very good. And
he's texting somebody right now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
All right.
It's him telling them what to say. Like, go ahead. I'm sorry, what?
I have a question for Andy's son, Lucas. Are you still here, Lucas?
Yeah. He's over there.
Is it weird standing next to Jared during that entire exchange that we just had?
I'm used to it.
It's just old hat at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was standing next to his potential new father-in-law.
Has your father ever flirted with one of your friends?
Of course.
Male friends?
I've been with
You know what, dude? We're making Lucas blush. I'm bumming out now.
Right,
Don't worry.
I just want to say for the record, I thought I did fine. I'm not saying the crowd was flat for me. I thought I did fine.
Great.
I'm just saying they were flat at times. That's all.
I may not disagree with the fact that they were flat at times, but I'm disagreeing with the fact that they were flat because 12 friends of TV people didn't laugh at Artie Lang jokes, but
no,
David Tell jokes.
that wasn't it, Gary. You just blow everything out of fucking proportion.
I took exactly what you said.
That the fans should be picked a different way.
But so I'm asking you, Bob, without blowing.
I watched it for all these guys. Everybody comes up to me and talks to me, and I talk
without blowing it out of proportion.
I'm not.
Tell me what it was.
I watched
what was lacking in these particular fans today. That's the question I'm asking.
I can look out there. I was watching when everybody's out
there.
The
ability
people
to
just
stand
sat
up,
there.
right?
There was somebody with his girlfriend. His girlfriend just sat there and stared the whole time. A lot of people did not. You could see that they were. I was watching when.
So if a guy calls me on the show and says, "I'm such a big fan, I want to come," and we say, "Okay, you got a pair of tickets," do I have to now pre-interview his girlfriend to make sure she's going to laugh at the jokes?
I wouldn't even give him 2 tickets. Give him 1 ticket. Pick 1 fan. Why do they got to bring somebody?
It is a small room. Man.
It
you
is.
can fill it up quickly, but.
All right, Teddy. Let's see.
Bob, you're absolutely fucking crazy. I've been in front of crowds before. They never laugh.
Let's get one last joke, and then we told.
He's got a point there.
I would believe that.
We told Andy he could do a song. Before we get to that, let's do one last joke from the roast, and the crowd that doesn't laugh. Here's Yucko.
Artie Lang's in the house! I don't know what's higher right now, Andy or Artie's fucking cholesterol count. 303, holy shit, you're a fucking area code now. Artie's so fat he thought he was being followed yesterday. What? I went to the video store and rented Beer League the other night. I said, when do I have to bring this back? They said, don't fucking worry about it.
That's a good joke.
So wait, Levy's theory was correct for the first 3.
See?
But the last one, why did they all laugh?
No, I'm not saying...
Because it was the funniest joke.
I know that, and I think I wrote that one. But... Listen to me. The fact of the matter is, I was saying, it nothing to do with the crowd with him. I said they love him. They love you so much that they will like sit down a little bit on stuff because they love you so much.
That's
it was
the
an
most
opinion I
flattering
made.
thing I've ever heard.
That's
The crowd.
I think that last clip is a great example. 3 jokes that weren't that great, then a funny one killed.
So the crowd just defended Artie. That's what you're saying, Bob.
I said they love you guys are all fucking. You twist my fucking words like a bunch of douchebags. I'm telling you exactly what
you were half an hour to explain your words,
and you twist them yourself, my friend.
No, I don't. I was just saying how much they love him. It was a compliment to how much they fucking love this guy. And now it's into the audience is turning against Artie.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's roasty, Andy Dick.
Hang out with me. Some people say you might end up dead or worse, gay. But I push semi-hard to get you to like me. Now I'm in your bedroom on your TV, and you can't turn me off or remote control that. Do I turn you on? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Watch this. It says more about you than it does about me if I threaten your precious sexuality. A straight line is quick from point B to point A, but with a curve in your dick, you could go either way. Now we're in the restroom, publicly, and you want me to do it. Jorge Michael-y, Jorge Michael-y, George Michael. Way! Ooh, ooh, ah, E. What does it look like? Ooh, ah, E. Looks like a pen light without the light shining out of the tip. Hang on, here we go. Just bring it on home. We're okay. Here we go. I love it because I wanted to do this on the roast. Watch. Now that we're done and you go back to your wife, I'll let you run from my strange life. Do you blow dry your hands or use the rotating towel? Wherever it lands, they're gonna call a foul. You can go to the moon, but you better come back before it waxes or wanes into a butt crack. Good luck with that.